So I've seen people ask the question on how to get guild tags, or like or asking like which characters are best to dismiss for tags. I thought it'd be a good topic for a video. So as you know, like if you want to do a grade up exam, you need to have guild tags. What a lot of you probably know is that you can just swap guild tags in the Adventurers Guild. Just like I said, when you go to the grade exam, you'll see this tag icon. You can just click it, and you can then just swap the tags to whatever you need. It's pretty much double each time. Like the lead grade exam, you just need ungraded tags, and for the next one up, you would need lead tags, which take 2 ungraded tags. And then you would need iron tags, which take 2 lead tags or 4 ungraded tags total. Then you would need the iron tags, which is essentially 8 unguild tags, right? Doubles each time, so it does become harder and harder. But you can also like dismiss adventurers to get tags. This might be for a lot of you the best way to get it, but it's like, you know, this does mean sacrificing adventurers you weren't going to use or weren't going to use for inherits. But yeah, like, so a lot of people though, like, don't know what the best ones to sacrifice are, like which ones are like not worth developing or which ones aren't worth inheriting. So I thought this would be like said, so we're going to talk about this here. So let's just talk about like what happens when you dismiss an adventurer, right? So if you go into like the adventure log, you can hit dismiss here. So you go, so not registered, you can also go to your registered adventures, but this is probably not what you want to do most time, but you know, not registered is generally where you want to go. So there's pretty much 3 tiers of adventures. You have the nameless adventures, right? You have named adventures, and you also have legendary adventures, right? They give different tags based on like the type. So all adventures, they will give you a tag based on the current rank. So since these are unregistered and not graded, they will by default give you a no grade tag, right? For the generic adventures, that's the only tag you get. For like a named adventurer, you would also get a second no grade tag. In addition to that, like said, and then for a legendary adventure, you will actually get an iron grade tag. So iron grade tags are exactly what you would need to do a still grade exam. So it's essentially like 9 non-graded tags, but it is a legendary adventure, so that is a pretty big sacrifice. But we'll talk about it, like if you should do a legendary adventure, but like I said, the no grade tag, because it's based on their current one. Like I said, so if you were like leveling up a Gerewolf, got him through the, like I said, still grade exam or whatever, and then you decide you don't need him anymore, you would actually get 2 iron grade tags, right? Because you'd always get the iron grade tag, plus you would get whatever their current rank is. So if you dismiss a character that you got tagged up, you actually get that tag back, so that investment is not technically wasted. So I guess that's good. I guess you will lose out on 1 no grade tag that way. Because it's like, because you do get a +1 here, whereas like if you did grade on, you would technically, I guess, lose 1 no grade tag's worth, but it does make it a bit easier. Like if you're trying to do like, you could dismiss, when you dismiss them, they can actually become a bond. Maybe you have to like max their approval. It's a whole process. I've never done it because it's most people say it's not really worth the time investment, but it is an option. And that'd be the case where the situation where you would, that would probably matter. But yeah, let's talk about like some of the best ones or worst ones to dismiss for tags. Like, so a lot of people might be like, well, let's just do the generics. Like these guys, like the ones without names, because, well, they're kind of the weakest characters, right? And there's a reason why you might not want to do that. So let's go, like just to like the training room here. Let's say we wanted to inherit some of these skills on some of these characters, right? So, right, it's passive HP up. Like the first rank is pretty good because it gives you HP, and right, the second rank only costs 2. But these costs start to get up pretty high? But these ones are almost never useless because these do increase the stats. It's only like +1 per rank up, but there does come a point where the rank ups start becoming so expensive. Like, you know, there comes a point like, you know, it takes 10 of these guys to rank up. Wouldn't I just rather have 10 tags? So that is kind of like where you do give diminished returns on these guys pretty quickly. So after you get to like where you need like 1,000 points or 10 of these or 12 of these or 14 of these, like you know, dismissing it for tags starts to become a lot more attractive. Like I said, so these do become options. I definitely would try to use these on your characters first, though. Try to get your characters high as you can on the whatever skills you need for them. You definitely get diminishing returns with these guys. So there does come a point where it does start to become a lot more attractive to start using them for tags. Elf Mag I would probably not dismiss, just because Elf Mag's actually really good as a character to use it to actually develop. I use her on my main account. She's actually, unlike the other nameless adventures, Elf Mag's actually worth using. That's probably something I'd cover in like a separate video. Probably like my mage, when I do a mage video. I want to still do those other class videos. I did one for Thief and Fighter, but we'll probably do one with mage. We'll probably talk about her in that one. But yeah, so those ones, like I said, so generic adventures can be useful if they're already like to the point where it takes like 10 or 12 of them. Like on any of the characters you'd want that stat on. Like, you know, like I said, you know, one more point of MP, or what I want 12 ungraded tags, right? So they do start to become attractive after a while. So let's talk about like the rest of them though. So like, let's say, right, so the regular adventures, like a lot of these, they have like relevant skills to inherit. So you want to like inherit like a lot of these. I've talked about this in my Thief and Fighter videos. Like, so you would never want to dismiss an Amelia or a Jean, or like say a Gondolful or an Ophelia, right? Like I said, because those skills are super important. And you probably wouldn't want to dismiss like any of the priests or mages, because like I said, they have like the spells. You do want to level those up. I mean, I guess there comes a point, I guess if there is a mage you would dismiss for tags, it's probably Dino, who has like the worst, I'd say the worst inherit, but even then, like, it's not the worst, it's that bad, but I mean, you would never want to dismiss a flute, right? Because she can level up Mygal, super important, or Megal. It's actually pronounced Megal in base outspelled in Japanese, but like a flute or a Yarmil, you'd never want to dismiss a Marianne, right? So a lot of them you don't, but the ones that are probably good to dismiss though are people like where is she? Let's see. Let's just sort this by class. It's gonna be easier to talk about this way. So let's start with fighters. So fighters that are that we could dismiss here for tags, that'd be good options. Chloe's okay, like I said, you know, her skill's okay there, but like I said, if you aren't using Chloe, she's a pretty prime candidate for dismiss for tags. That's not one you would necessarily level up. Olive is another one. Her inherit is terrible. If you aren't using Olive as a character, like, she is a prime candidate for dismiss for tags. Easy option for dismiss for tags. Her skill is terrible. Let's see. Like I said, I'd say those are probably the two biggest candidates. Olive definitely #1 prime candidate for dismiss for tags. Chloe, like I said, her warrior battle cry, it's okay. I mean, you might want to level it up on a couple of your fighters, but it's one of those skills that's like long term. It's like I said, it's good early game. Long term, it's pretty meh skill. There's a couple of places where you might use it, but it's fine. Let's move on to thieves now. Like I said, I talked about this in my thief video. There's a few characters definitely dismissed for tag fodder, and Viviana, definitely top. Like, her skills you can learn are thief only. So they're just, like I said, it's just, you know, unless you're like actually need to like level this up on a thief you're using. Like I said, easy dismiss for tags there. You wouldn't want to do Jean or Bakash. Definitely don't do Jean or Bakash or Amelia. Also, and I should mention, like, you know, they now have the rare skill, the ability to get the rare skills, the rare inherits. Yeah, definitely don't ever dismiss any of the rare inherit ones. Like, obviously you want to use those for inherits, but if you just have the regular ones without the yellow icon, yeah, don't dismiss them. But yeah, Viviana, prime target. Milana would also be an option if you aren't using her. Like, poison attack, I mean, they did buff that one, so it might be better, but I haven't done enough testing with it, but it still seems kind of meh. So maybe it scales better, but you know, poison attack, I mean, I just think there's better things to do with your turn. But no, Viviana and maybe Milana, I'd say, are probably your best dismiss for tags options. I guess you could make a case for Philip too, but you know, delay attack is actually kind of useful. There's places where you want to use a delay attack, but if you don't use it that much, you know, and you have a bunch of Philips, you know, then maybe you want to dismiss a Philip. Always click the wrong button. So let's go talk about knights. So there's a lot of knights that I think are dismissible here. Gosh, I can't remember whose or whose though. Let's go. We have to go to the training room because I can't remember whose skills were whose. Like I said, there's a lot of knights that I just don't use that much. But let's do this here. So Alex, you could probably dismiss. Like, I leveled up Stun Bash to rank 3 on Olive on my character, on my main theme. Like, it's just not, it's fine. It's good to teach everyone Stun Bash level 1, but after that, like, leveling it up high level just doesn't really do much for you. So he's a good dismiss for tags. Obviously, if you have the rare one, his rare skill is Way of the Night. Super good skill. Definitely don't dismiss one that has a rare one. Attract hit is pretty important. Like, you actually do want to level this one, so don't dismiss Eckhart. Self-healing is really good on your mage and priest. This is actually one of the skills that is definitely worth leveling up your mage priest, so don't dismiss her. But cover, this is night only, so like this one's easy dismiss for tags. Assault guard's pretty good. You want to teach that on everyone. Eualia, I think I don't have a Eualia on this count, but so I'd say Eldorado and Eualia, those are your dismiss for tag candidates for knights. Neither of those are very good, so I'd say dismiss for tags on Eldorado and Eualia. Those are your dismiss for tag targets. And now, like I said, we would do priests. So pretty much none of the priests. You don't want to dismiss priests. All these skills are good. Macaldi is good. Macaldi is good. That one's also super good to level up. Latimorphis, like, one of the best skills to level up because it's just super important. Madios, Dios, again, you always want to level those up on your priests, so you don't want to dismiss any of these. Those are all skills you want to level up. Yeah, definitely use those for like level ups. Don't dismiss them for tags. And then there's mages. Definitely, so Megal, Pharaoh, those are super important heralds. Do not dismiss them. Katino is actually a good spell that I do not use as much as I should be on my main account, because this is a really good spell, and it is, like I said, leveling up does increase the success rate. This is one you should level up on your main mage. Montino, you should probably level up your main mage, but if there is a mage that's worth dismissing, it's this guy. Yeah, definitely, I would say this is the one. But like, other than that, though, like I said, those are all worth keeping around. Let's see here. Oh, I do have Milana. Yeah, I said her inherit skill is kind of bad, so if you did dismiss her, like, give her tags, it's not the worst thing if you aren't using her. And then, so let's go talk about the legendaries now. So let's see here. Adventures log.
You want to register?
Certainly. Oh, let's see. Can we? Oh, let's put them all back on. It's not a way to filter legendary, is there? Guess not. So let's talk about the best legendaries to dismiss, because there are some, like Gerewolf. His inherits is Eruption Strike, right? It gets better bonus with the gives a accuracy bonus with the two-hand blunt weapon. Two-hand blunt weapons are kind of meh, right? This is one of the skills that's pretty much only useful to level up on himself. Like, teach other people, everyone tells me it's not that great. So if you are not using Gerewolf, he is a prime dismiss for tag candidate. Like, you could totally just dismiss him for tags, and you are not missing out on anything. The other legendary I'd say is good for like dismissing for tags, Lanavel. Like, Lanavel is, like I said, she is super good in the early game, and then she falls off really hard. Like, she's fire type, so gets absolutely shredded in the second abyss, and the third abyss I was not impressed with her. But her inherit, it adds a bit of healing. Super good in the early game. It's pretty much useless in the late game, so her inherit's not that great. She's an okay character if you can get her fighter scroll. You need to turn her into a fighter for her to have, like after that, after like level 35 or so, you could just turn her into a fighter. There's not too much you'll miss from the knight after that. Like, and if you want to take her all the way to knight, then turn her fighter, that's fine. But if you don't, like I said, if she's not a fighter, she's just not worth really using. So Lanavel, if you aren't using her, good dismiss for tags candidate. The other legendary I would say is good for dismissing. Is Abenius. Abenius is terrible. Her inherit is literal trash. So unless you're using Abenius, like you said, she has no value. Like, you can definitely dismiss her. She's another legendary. I'd say the other legendary. Yes, that you can dismiss. All the other limited time ones, like Gerald and Redbeard and stuff, those are actually useful inherits. So you might want to actually use them as inherits. Whereas Venus, her inherit is terrible. Like I said, her skill has that opening attack. It's a minor attack, but the problem is if you inherit on someone else, the activation chance is not 100%. It's not even 50%. It's like 20%, maybe. It's terrible. It is actually terrible to inherit this on anybody else. So she's another dismiss for tags candidate. But yeah, like, that's pretty much it. So those are my picks. Those are the only three legendaries I'd say are dismissed for tags. Characters like Yekaterina. I'd say, like, if you aren't using Yekaterina, you want to inherit her skill onto the main character. Alice's inherit is super good, but also Alice is a super good character. So you don't want to do that. Adam's inherit super good, and Deborah's inherit super good, so those don't dismiss them either. So just Lanavel, Gerwolf, and Ebenius is dismissed for tags on legendaries. You do get those iron grade tags that you need for still a grade. But yeah, that should conclude this video. If you want to know my thoughts about thieves, though, I did a video about like the best and worst thieves to develop, and you can find that one down below. As always, thank you for watching.